First and foremost, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to click on this video. I'll do my best to be concise and share with you what's going on in my personal life, this little life update, and then this particular issue I'm having and reflecting upon something that to me makes no sense about myself. So please know that I'm grateful for your time. Make sure you share in the comments below about what's going on with you if you feel so inclined, and if you're curious to chime in about this particular topic, if you feel so inspired, do it. Hit the comment section. It means a lot to me to hear from you. It means a lot from other people to hear from you, okay? So first and foremost, I still haven't been able to string any real sobriety together. I'm on day 3 right now, and I've gotten to day 3 a number of times, and it's incredibly elusive. And the reason I bring this up again is because it has to do with today's topic, which is something that's going on that makes absolutely no sense in my mind, doesn't make sense to my wife. It's completely inexplainable. A year ago, essentially, November of 2019, my wife and I were kicking it. We were having a date night, naughty treat night, this sort of thing, where we watch a movie, we go out, we get candy and kettle corn, maybe ice cream, that sort of thing. Something we'd routinely do once or twice a week. And I remember 30 minutes into eating it, I had this depersonalized, derealized feeling come over me. And if you don't know what that is, it simply means that I fell into a very detached, confused, dreamlike state. I describe it very simply as like a glass pane was put in front of my eyes, and I felt a little bit turned around with my reality, and I felt scared. I felt a little bit out of my mind, and it deeply overwhelmed me. Now, as you may or may not know, depending on how often you watch this channel or if you've been around for a while, I have a history of depersonalization, derealization in conjunction with depression and anxiety. I had a big breakdown in 2011. It left me in this terribly anxious, depersonalized, suicidal state. And so I have some trauma around that. The point is, what I can't explain to you is coming up. I had this experience, right, with sugar back in November. It genuinely upset me, and I didn't start to feel even remotely okay for about 2 days after that. It was one of the hardest 2-day stretches mental health-wise that I have ever had since my breakdown. And you want to know what I did as a result of this random bad experience? I completely stopped eating added sugar. Completely. I have not had added sugar since November of 2019. And I did not do this for health purposes. I did not do this to make a big change in my life. I did this as a response to pain and suffering and discomfort. I did this as a result of a perceived consequence of eating that sugar, even though I've had sugar a bazillion times and I feel like I've responded to it normally. My wife thinks it's super obsessive of me, it's super extreme, and I'm inclined to agree. But the truth is, I've had zero desire to have added sugar since that happened. I'll have a little bit of raw organic honey. I'll do that to sweeten things a little bit. I'm not gonna micromanage a gram or 2 of added sugar in, like, let's say a hamburger bun if I'm out at a restaurant. That sort of thing, fine. But actual real added sugar, like candy or desserts, or even a processed, meal that has 5 or 10 grams of sugar, I won't do it. And I have zero craving or temptation for that. I wouldn't be surprised if I never do it again. I wouldn't be surprised if I never touch sugar again. It was that simple for me. Why? Because I had a bad experience, and that was all it took for me. But what makes absolutely no sense whatsoever is the fact that I still can't stay sober for the life of me, despite a plethora of bad experiences. My wife and I were talking about this. We're like, this is insane. Like, my drinking, right? My drinking is very aggressive. It's very alcoholic drinking, and I'm having consequences that are very in line with garden variety, unchecked, untreated alcoholism. I drink too much too often. I drink at ill-advised times. I drink at the expense of my mental health. I drink at the expense of my physical health. I drink at the expense of my finances, the expense of my well-being, the expense of my fitness, the expense of my marriage, the expense of my friendships, my commitments, my business, my da-da-da-da-da. It's impacting everything in a way that cannot be questioned or argued. No bullshit I can spin between my ears can any longer convince me that I am not an alcoholic on a destructive alcoholic path. I'm on the journey, the death by 1,000 cuts. It's happening to me. And I cannot stay sober right now. Now, granted, I'm on day 3 right now, and that's a big fucking deal to me. Didn't used to be a big deal to me. I took it for granted, but it's a big deal to me now because I never know what I'm going to do at any given moment. And it's frightening. And it's absolutely frightening. So I just wanted to share that because I just think that's such an interesting and strange contrast between something you're addicted to, right? Or something you just enjoy that maybe it's not that good for you. Because I've had people ask me, like, do you think you have an addictive personality? And I want to be like, I guess so. I kind of think I have an addictive personality. But then I compare, let's say, fitness or YouTube or gambling or sugar, obviously, for today's topic. And the moment I have a bad consequence, the moment I have a bad experience, I'll run away from that shit for good. I won't even, I mean, I guess I haven't had a bad experience per se with like fitness or gambling, but sugar. I don't know that I'll ever eat sugar again, and I don't even miss it. I don't wake up and wonder for 1 second, oh man, I wonder if today's the day that I'm gonna just decide to eat a pint of ice cream or a slice of pie. It's like, nope, no desire. Completely taken from me. I can't imagine how fucking good it would feel if that happened to me with alcohol. It's a dream of mine at this point, and I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know what it's gonna take for me to get sober. I don't know if it's gonna be an act of providence, pure luck, just a matter of time, massive consequence. I don't know. I pray that this day 3 is my last day 3. But the point is, I just don't know what I'm gonna do at any given moment, and it's deeply concerning and it's deeply overwhelming. And I can have all the motivation and intention and stress and pain and all the reasons that alcoholics get sober. I feel them. I really, really feel them. And I still have no clue if I'll be drunk or not tonight. That's how out of control I feel. That's how powerful it feels. But I'd be shocked if I ever eat sugar again. Off one bad experience. Other than to say sugar is not good for you, and I can dive into the health concerns with the diet high in sugar. And I just think that's crazy. I don't think it makes any sense, and I think that's the whole nature of addiction, right? Just it defines reason, it defines logic. So I share this to touch base with you, to get it off my chest and to vent a little bit, but also ultimately to connect with the guy or gal out there who just feels confused about their choices and their behavior, feels confused about how they can go from sugar to shit in 2 seconds, feels confused about the difficulty and the strife involved with trying to get sober. And perhaps even I would say to anyone who is currently sober and in recovery more specifically, I hope that this can, of course, remind you why you stay and hold on tight to where you are, because I've had almost 2 years of sobriety before. I've had over a year 2 other times aside from that one. I've had 9 months a number of times, and 6 months and 3 months. And every time I go back out for whatever reason that I do, and I've read all the literature, I've been to rehab. My dad's an addictionologist, mom's an addiction nurse. They're both in recovery. I know a lot about addiction, and it hasn't saved me. It hasn't saved me. And one thing is for sure, it seems to get harder and more elusive the older I get. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that it scared the shit out of me, because I'm getting older and I feel like I'm too old for this shit. But here I am anyway. So yeah, I have a great sponsor. For those of you who are wondering, what are you doing for your addiction? I'm meeting my drug and alcohol counselor at 4 today via Zoom. I'm still working out 5 days a week and holding on to my coaching responsibilities at a CrossFit gym. I wake up and I do a 12-step meeting. I've been trying to work Annie Grace's the alcohol experiment, where we're rewiring our brain and also using the most recent scientific evidence-based research to help attack alcohol from more of like an intellectual way, understand what's going on with me, not just the spiritual path that's often the foundation of like 12-step work. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm fighting for days. I'm fighting for minutes. Sometimes I'm fighting for hours. I'm battling massive cravings. I'm dealing with tremendous despair. I'm on constant withdrawal, it feels like. But I'm fighting, and I hope you are too. And this isn't a cry for help, and I don't think there's anything bad or wrong about me. And I think I'm proud of myself for continuing to fight. But it's hard. And yeah, I'm trying to catch this butterfly, and I got a tiny net, and it's a fucking big ass butterfly. Or maybe it's like I got a big net and it's such a tiny butterfly that goes through the net. I don't know. Jessie and I are hanging in there. She's remaining supportive. That's my wife. She's learned more about addiction and stuff as I've continued to learn more about it, and she's doing her best to to mitigate certain aspects of me being an alcoholic. I've got great friends and family. yeah, trying to do step work. It's basically where my life is. I'm highly unpredictable, and the content on this channel has reflected that, but I'm still here, and I'm still going to share the good, the bad, the ugly, and I still need me, I still value me, I still appreciate me, and I still need and value you guys and appreciate you guys, and I hope you're staying brave in whatever you're facing. I hope you know that that I understand how hard it can be and how confusing it is and how tough it is to maintain self-esteem when you're behaving so radically despite what feels like tremendous effort and intention. It's really discouraging stuff. It's really discouraging stuff, but I keep getting up, I keep trying, I keep focusing on the things that my sponsor and those that have gone before me and other people's stories online. You know, I keep focusing on the fact that other men and women have overcome this monster. They have overcome this insidious desire to, I guess you would say, self-destruct, because I'm definitely not having fun anymore with this drinking. I'm really not. I mean, my style of drinking at this point is just sitting by myself on the ground watching a movie at midnight when everyone's gone to bed, and just slamming 12 to 15 beers and binge eating after that, and then detoxing the whole day and kind of hating myself, but kind of just being sad and down, and then fighting tooth and nail to get a day, to get 2 days, to get 3 days, doing everything I can possibly muster to just let it all explode again. That's sort of the weird vicious cycle I'm in, but I'm committed to 12-step every single day. I'm committed to calling my sponsor just about every single day. I'm committed to being open and honest with my wife and not hiding how my brain's working and how devastating this is for me, while trying to also honor her heart and listening to her and making sure we're setting boundaries for her to be okay. And there's a lot of people under a lot of stress right now. I can sense all the conflicted hearts and the angry hearts out there, especially social media, which is just insane right now, but also just my immediate friends and family. Between COVID and the political thing and social justice issues and the world being on fire, it's a stressful time, and I really, really, really want to be the adult I need to be to sweep my side of the street and be able to handle life's responsibilities and life stresses right now, so that my wife doesn't have to do it alone, so I can be my best self. But it's a battle, and I'm fighting. That's all I got to say. So I appreciate you guys. Please, in the comments below, I prefer you keep it respectful, even if you're feeling some stress over this particular upload. But in general, I do want to hear from you. I want to hear how you're getting through these stressful times. I want to hear how you're staying sober, if you happen to be able to stay sober right now. And I want to hear how you're doing and how you're experiencing life as someone who's struggling to stay sober for whatever reason, because I don't have a good reason for you. That's one thing that's for sure. People are like, why do you keep relapsing? Why don't you just surrender? Why don't you take it more serious? I'm like, dude, I don't know. I'm trying to try right now. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do from hour to hour anymore. And that's scary and it's overwhelming. It's the best I can say. So I get up every day and I try to do the next best thing and take order and take direction. And sometimes I get through the day and I make it. Sometimes I get 2, sometimes I get 3. A couple weeks ago, I got 5 or 6 days. I'm so excited. I'm so hopeful. But then sometimes at like 11:55, I just drive to the store and start chugging beer. So I know what it's like to feel crazy like that. And I just want you to feel safe in that. In the respect that I understand. I want you to feel safe in my honesty and feel safe to be a little bit broken right now, a little bit messed up, while still being a worthwhile person like I think I am. So I hope that makes sense. A long video as per usual, but I needed to get this off my chest. So hit the comment section. Know that I appreciate you. And thank you for letting me process. If you made it this long in the video, this far rather, if you made it this far, go ahead and put in the comment section egg. All caps. Egg. EGG. Put egg in the comment section. Lets me know you made it, and I will give you extra love and extra time responding to you and stuff, and being respectful of your time, because you just gave a lot of it to me. So I'm a lucky guy. All right, later guys. Fight the good fight. Hang in there.